We have seen this pattern unfold countless times throughout NBA history. A season begins, expectations settle into place, and then a single player erupts with such overwhelming force that the numbers stretching across the stat sheet feel almost fictional. This year, that player is Giannis, a man entering his 30s with a decade of dominance already behind him. A championship etched into his legacy, 2 MVPs resting on his mantle, and the weight of every defensive scheme imaginable thrown at him. Yet somehow, despite everything teams have learned, despite how familiar his presence has become, Giannis is off to the most complete start of his career. The numbers surrounding him have reached a level where they seem detached from reality. Over 32 points a night, more than 11 rebounds, over 7 assists. With disruptive defensive impact layered on top, and an efficiency mark hovering at 66% true shooting, he has even begun knocking down threes at a clip no one expected. Defenses warp the moment he touches the ball, bending around him, collapsing on his drive, swarming him inside the arc. And instead of forcing through bodies like he once did, he now controls the floor with a level of poised manipulation that elevates Milwaukee's entire offensive identity. This version of Giannis is not just overpowering defenders physically, he is dissecting them mentally. He reads traps like a quarterback navigating a blitz, finds cutters streaking behind sleeping defenders, and threads passes to shooters spacing the floor with the kind of precision that can only exist in a system finally allowing him the freedom to orchestrate everything. For years, Milwaukee tried to pair Giannis with guards who would shoulder the initiating duties, hoping to ease his workload. But this season has revealed what many suspected for years. Giannis is not a piece of the offense. He is the offense. With the spacing around him optimized and the ball in his hands more than ever, he is generating a level of control that makes it nearly impossible for defenses to choose a scheme. Throw bodies at him and he'll find the corner shooter. Collapse inside and he'll hit the pop man. Overhelp and heal slice the defense apart with cross-court lasers. The record-breaking performance against Charlotte, where he finished with 25 points and 18 assists, wasn't a statistical anomaly. It was a deliberate demonstration of how easily he can dismantle any coverage when the floor around him is properly constructed. Milwaukee's decision to lean fully into Giannis as the primary initiator has transformed everything about their offense. His usage rate sits near 37%, meaning he controls over a third of every possession the moment it's in play. And what's more astonishing is how drastically the offense falls off when he leaves the floor. With Giannis on the court, the Bucks orchestrate one of the most potent offensive attacks in the league, scoring with efficiency and rhythm. When he sits, everything collapses. Space shrinks, creation dries up, the movement slows, and the engine sputters. It reveals an uncomfortable truth about the way this roster currently operates. Milwaukee is built entirely around one man, and when that man rests, the structure becomes fragile. Yet the team has made a conscious effort to counterbalance this load by limiting his minutes. Playing him fewer minutes per game than in previous seasons, despite the heavier creation burden. It's a delicate balancing act meant to protect him as the playoffs approach. But the story of Milwaukee's resurgence isn't solely about Giannis. The most surprising development has come from a player nearly everyone had written off. Kyle Kuzma was dismissed by fans after a disastrous postseason showing last year, where he produced games so quiet that they felt like empty space on the court. Confidence evaporated. Trades were expected, yet Doc Rivers shocked everyone by pushing him into the starting lineup. Not as an injury stopgap, but as an intentional structural choice. The decision wasn't about offense. It was about patching the holes that had been draining Milwaukee's defense and rebounding all season. Kuzma brings size, versatility, activity, and a commitment to physicality that had been missing from the team's identity. Despite his struggles as a shooter, despite the spacing concerns, he has been Milwaukee's most consistent defender, shutting down elite scorers, holding opponents to low percentages, and bringing a level of toughness that anchors the starting unit. His presence restores balance on the floor, giving Giannis and Turner the support they need to secure rebounds, stop second-chance opportunities, and hold the defensive line. Offensively, Kuzma still battles occasional lapses, moments where he reverts to instincts formed during his years as a high-usage player elsewhere. But when he plays within Milwaukee's structure, particularly off the catch, he becomes a valuable complement. His near 15 points per game off the bench before joining the starting lineup were built on efficient finishes, timely cuts, and opportunistic scoring. The Bucks don't need him to be a star. They need him to be stable. And his first games as a starter revealed exactly the blueprint Milwaukee hopes to build around, but two more names have quietly become the heartbeat of Milwaukee's revival. Ryan Rollins has stepped into the creative void left behind by injured guards and has flourished beyond any projection. His numbers are staggering for a young player thrust into such a demanding role. Nearly 18 points per game, over 5 assists, nearly 50% from 3. True shooting in the mid-60s. He brings rim pressure Milwaukee has desperately missed, and defensive intensity they could not find last season with slower, smaller guards. Rollins stabilizes the offense when Giannis sits and gives Milwaukee a dynamic option they haven't had since their championship year. Then there's Miles Turner, the big man who had to adapt quickly to a completely different role. Early struggles gave way to a resurgence. His shot has returned. His defense anchors the interior with verticality and mobility. And his fit alongside Giannis has begun to click. A front court built on size, agility, rim protection, and spacing may become one of the toughest matchups in the league as the chemistry deepens. Yet Milwaukee is far from complete. Defensive rebounding remains a glaring weakness. Their perimeter defense is inconsistent, and the non-Giannis minutes continue to bleed points. These issues will define whether this season becomes a true title run or a cautionary tale about the limits of superstar dependence. But in the middle of these flaws stands the most dominant version of Giannis we have ever seen. If Milwaukee finds ways to tighten their weaknesses, this team can stand toe-to-toe with anyone when the postseason lights turn bright. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Milwaukee's revamped system around Giannis can carry them deep into the playoffs? Can this new supporting cast truly elevate the Bucks back into the championship picture? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this deep dive breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on future stories just like this one.